Coming up, I build a gorgeous tavern in the mountains. I also become a porcupine, rescue a baby bear, and give an in-depth overview of what I really think of the Let's Do Brewery mod. Let's do brewery. Or don't, maybe. I don't know. Last time, I mined a whole bunch of diamonds and netherite, fought a wither, built a beacon, and put together a multi-tree wood farm. And today, I'm gonna finally get on my quest to make these idiots a mining town, starting with a tavern. But before I do that, let's just have a look at what I've done outside of the video. I still haven't decorated inside of the bottom of the wither skeleton farm, but as I said I would do at the end of the last video, I have now made a whole workshop in here next to my steam engine. We've got a machine for making precision mechanisms as well as other deploying jobs. We've got a blaster. Around here we've got a press for squishing things and a slicer for slicing things, and I've even got some crushing wheels in the middle. And all of this is running off of this steam engine, and if I put my goggles on you can see that we're hardly using any of the power at all that we've got. And of course at the back of the room I've sorted out a storage system as well. All of these drawers here are connected to the main storage system, which is also connected to that storage system, and connected to the storage system in the tree farm we built in the last episode as well, which has been working very nicely. I've now planted acacia and birch in there as well, just to top those logs up for us. I have put round a catwalk and some railing just to stop me falling in, but we need to do a whole bunch of decoration in here. There's also some bulk storage boxes for all of my bulk stuff, which are not connected to the storage system. In here I've also got my chipped workbenches, a whole bunch of them up here, one there and one over here as well. I've got my crafting table, my stone cutter, and of course my backpack of create things and my backpack of jewel things. And look, I've got a whole bunch more diamonds and more netherite as well, and that's because I spend a whole bunch of time off camera down the mines with my tunnel bore, doing lots of tunnel boring, and then doing a whole bunch of tunnel boring in the nether as well. And it's been quite fruitful, but I need to use some of this netherite now, because I need some more backpack upgrades. The first thing I want is a fall damage upgrade, and the reason I want that is because whenever I fly and fall down, I take damage and then my armor pops back on. I'm always wearing my armor, but I'm using the Show My Skin mod to hide it, but every time I take damage it comes back again and I have to wait for ages before I can record the next clip in case I go invisible slightly. Because as you can see, as it starts fading out, it goes totally invisible and then pops back in, and that's just weird. I also want a feeder upgrade, which is automatically going to feed me, but for that I need chocolate, as well as honey and milk in a little squirting thing. I'd also like a pick block upgrade, and I'd like a backpack item pickup upgrade too, because that means if there's any items on the floor, like this netherite down here, and I go over it, it's just going to pop straight into my backpack instead of my inventory, keeping my inventory nice and clear. And I think we'll start with the easy ones first. And the easiest one to make is the pick block upgrade, because I already have all the ingredients for that, so there we go, I've got that one. And if I put that in there, and make sure there's no cobble in my inventory at all, but there is some in my backpack, I should now be able to click on some cobble and put it in my backpack. We go, cobble. It worked. The pickup upgrade's pretty cheap too. I just need a smart shoe and I've got the ingredients for that. So now I've got that upgrade. And if I pop it in my backpack and then throw something on the floor, of course, that's going to go into my backpack, just like that. And if I don't want to use that, I can toggle these on and off by holding the control key down and just clicking them. So they don't have to be active when I don't need them to be. Now the feather falling upgrade is a complicated one. It requires a blaze burner, a bucket of honey, and netherite diving boots as well. And netherite diving boots are just copper diving boots with a netherite upgrade. I've already got a bucket of honey, so now I just need a couple of propellers and a sail, and now I can make the fall damage upgrade. And that should mean that no matter how high up I fly with this thing, if I fall down, I shouldn't. Oh, gee. So that just leaves the feeding upgrade. Making a honeyed apple's going to be nice and easy. We've got 2,048 apples, so let's just take one of those. Fly over to my honey farm, which is just in there. Pop that down on there, and there we go. We've got a honeyed apple. Now I need a sweet roll, which is just bread and milk. And I'm pretty sure I can find some cows kicking about around here somewhere. Well, it appears I've found jungle trees, and I was going to say I'm going to need the jungle trees for cocoa. Oh, look, cocoa beans. How convenient. Yoink. I'll take some jungle tree as well, because it would be nice to grow these trees and get some jungle wood too. And the Wandering Winemaker has appeared. What have you got today, sir? Oh, you've got new things that I have. Apple tree saplings, dark cherry saplings. I haven't got any emeralds on me. Don't go anywhere. In fact, I've got an idea. I'll just take the Wandering Winemaker home. Oh, hang on a minute. There's a cow on the mini-map, so you're going to just have to go there a minute while I milk this cow. Come here, you. Thank you. There we go. Just a quick pit stop for some milk, sir. There you go, sir. You are now in my storeroom. if you could just hang on for a second, I'll get you some emeralds. I want one of those. In fact, I'm going to take a couple of those just in case. I definitely want some of those, please. I'll take some of those, and I think I've got everything else that I need. So thank you very much. So all that's left to do on this little adventure is grab myself a cow, and then we'll have milk on Oh, jeez. Why do I have to hold it this way round? And that brings me back to these cinnamon rolls. So we need a basin to put the milk in. We then need a pump coming out of that into a pipe going up to a spout, just like that, with a depot underneath it. You can put the bread on the depot, a cog there, my hand crank on there, and now if I wind that, we should eventually get some milk onto one of those. There we go, we've got a cinnamon roll. So now all I need is chocolate and some sweet berries. But how do we make chocolate? Cocoa bean, sugar, and milk in a mixer. I can do that. Although that does occur to me after putting in this entire workshop of all of the things I thought I needed. I haven't got a single mixer, so I'm going to have to add one of those in as well. And it needs a blaze burner underneath it too. And I've decided to squeeze this in the back room because there really isn't much room through here for it. So now we've got this mixer ready to go. We just need sugar, chocolate, and milk. And I've got the cocoa beans right here. Got another milk there, so I just need some sugar. I'm sure I've got sugar cane in one of these boxes somewhere. Oh, I've actually got a piece of sugar. Oh, perfect. Let's get the blaze burner lit up. We'll throw in the milk, we'll throw in some cocoa beans, we'll throw in the sugar, and hopefully we're going to get some chocolate in there. A tiny bit. Okay, one more cocoa bean, one more sugar. One more sugar, one more cocoa bean. And there we go, a whole bucket of chocolate. Should be able to pick that up. I can. I've got a bucket of chocolate. And I'm going to look through my boxes, but I don't think I've got any sweet berries at all. Nope. So I guess I'm going out on another adventure. And that means it's time to go flying again. And off we go. It's time to find some bushes. What are these? Wild hops? I need those. It's a shame I can't pick these wild hops up. I like them. He's not having any of it. That's a slightly worrying noise. Who are you? What are you doing in these leaves? An illusioner? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I may have just made a mistake. Oh, jeez. Help! I'm getting shot at from lots of different directions all at the same time. If you would just stay still and let me get you, that would make my life a lot easier, Mr. Illusioner. Which one's the real one? This one. There we go. Look at... I think they may have got me a few times. And I got a totem of illusion and equipable in the charm trinket slot. Right, anyway, onwards with my quest for bushes. I've found them. Here they are. And now we've got those, we might as well do a little bit of a raid on that village. More berries. And a furnace. Might as well take the chest. Gonna need beds later, I think. Crafting table. Trapdoors. More furnaces. And more beds. I'll take the lot. An armor stand. Now, I think I might rescue a few of you guys, just like I did last time. Come here, beekeeper. You, in there. No, not that again when you're on each other's heads. No, stop it. That's better. Oh, there's a lot of bookshelves in this village, and a lot of junk. Yoink. Ooh, we'll take all of that. Take an anvil. Yes, take all of these things. Definitely all mine. You hiding behind here, nitwit. I can see you, fiddling with that cow. Don't let your mum see you. That's not right, really. But I don't judge. Oh, a baby! Don't talk to him. He fiddles with cows. Here, go in there and don't escape. Okay? What I just say? You're not being a trainee cow fiddler. Not happening. I don't know why they got all these campfires just laying around. Don't want to alarm you, sir, but there's a zombie outside and your door's just fallen off. You just took me door. No, I didn't. It just fell off, mate. Nothing to do with me. Ow, ow, ow. Well, slowly but surely I'm getting through these houses. There's not many of them left at all, and I am accumulating an absolute ton of junk in my inventory, but some quite useful things as well. You can show us them? No. Get it in the world download at the end of the month, mate. Well, I think that's it. I think I have raided pretty much every single house. Oh, there's a bear. There's an angry bear, and I don't know where my helicopter's go. Ow. Oh, hello. I don't want to kill you. You've got a child. I'm gonna have to. Oh, flags. I'm sorry, baby bear. I'm so sorry. You're gonna need friends now. You're gonna need a home to stay in. Chaps, I accidentally a little bit kind of hurt this little bear's mum. So if you could look after him, that would be very helpful. I would take him home, but I don't think he'll fit in my helicopter. See you later, little bear. Why do you fly? What, put the helicopter in my pocket and use my jetpack, and then have a bear at home? But what if it grows and then eats me while I'm asleep? No, it's better off there with the villagers. It likes the taiga. And here we are, we have arrived safely back at home. Now it's time to get that final backpack upgrade done, and then empty out this ridiculous mess. Let's make some chocolate berries, feeder upgrade, and what that means is I don't need to waste a hotbar slot on food now. I'm just going to get fed by that. So now that I've finished fiddling with backpacks and all of that good stuff, it's about time I turn my attention to this invisible tavern that I haven't built yet. Or have I? Yes, it's right there behind me in this creative copy of the world, and as you can see, it's not 100% finished, but this is what I'm going for, which is taken from this picture here because I want this mining town to look a little bit like these pictures here. So using a little bit of spruce and dark oak, I've put this together. Obviously we need a sign at the front up there, and we need to basically decorate most of it and make it look a little bit more interesting, certainly the area around it. And hopping up these stairs, you can see we got the saloon style doors, we've got this nice area inside ready for a bar and some tables and chairs, and up here there's space for 6 bedrooms as well as a nice little upstairs deck, which I'm sure we can have some more seating on and things like that. And there's also this big area downstairs as well, which we can have even more tables and chairs on. And back on the server, those 6 bedrooms should be just about enough room for our 6 idiots. So I better get on with building it, which of course means grabbing the good old schematic cannon, chucking it down, figuring out exactly where we're going to be having this, and I think that's pretty much where I had it set up on the test world. And for this I'm going to need a whole bunch of materials, so I better get collecting those. And I think that's pretty much most of the things I need gathered, so I suppose this is the part where we play that funky music and do a big old time lapse. That everything's in and decorated, I think this place is starting to look pretty good. Around the bottom I've decorated with a whole bunch of different leaf variations, including some chipped leaves as well as some walnut leaves. We've got a whole bunch of these mushroom colonies and wall mushrooms in here, as well as coarse dirt, podzol, stripped woods, different assortments of gravel, some bushes and barrels and things like that just to fill out this space underneath, and I think that works really well. And I've even added a whole bunch of these wall mushrooms around the wood as well, because I think that just really adds to the whole feel and the texture of the place. And one of the things that stands out the most is this tavern sign, which I photoshopped quickly and then used immersive paintings to add it to the front of this, and I just think that brings it all together. And internally I've done a whole bunch of decorating too, starting with the main bar area. As you can see, we've got our idiots in here. We've got some tables and chairs with some mugs and some plates and things like that. We've got our bar area with some bar stools. We've got a whole bunch of cabinets and things. We've even got some wine racks over here with a wine bottle in that we got from a village, and a bunch of paintings and things just to liven that area up. Outside on this floor we've got even more tables and chairs out here with some flower pots, more mugs, and I've tried to mix things up with the dark oak and the spruce, just because the spruce tables and chairs felt a little bit too much like they were blending in with the build, but having it all just dark oak just felt way too dark. So I think mix and matching it's worked out kind of well. I've also used immersive paintings in here to stick a screenshot screenshot of the actual tavern on there, and upstairs we've got a few things going on up here as well. We've got another one of those there and another one there of a forest. The forest with like 2 trees. And then we've got the rooms, which I said there were 6 earlier. There's actually 7. Each room has a single dark oak fancy bed, a cabinet and a wardrobe. Some have got these little trays in for decorations, and they've all got a painting in. And they're all very, very similar. Some rooms are 3 wide like this and have a larger wardrobe, and some rooms are just 2 wide with a single wardrobe. And I think it's all come together really, really nicely. I'm very happy with it. And the good news is, because there is an extra bedroom, that means I get a bedroom. Although this is only a 2 wide bedroom, I think I'd rather have a 3 wide bedroom. This one should be mine, I think. So I'm gonna set my spawn here and go and see what the chaps think of it. What do you reckon, guys? Are you happy with this new tavern that I've made you? Finally made you something that you can actually live in?
It's not very modern, is it?
It's not supposed to be modern. You asked for a mining town. Whenever have you seen a modern mining town?
Well, it just would have been nice to be modern.
You've got everything you need. Shut up. But they haven't got quite everything they need, because obviously a tavern is going to need to serve drinks. Now, in order to prepare drinks, we're going to be using the Let's Do Brewery mod. And I really don't like that mod. So you might be asking, well, why did you add it into the mod pack, FoxyNoTail? Well, for good reason. It's got beer mugs, which are very good for decoration. It's also got fancy tables, a whole bunch of drawers and bar counters, and it also has the big old barrels as well. So I really added it for the decorative purposes, but we're going to be using it to brew beer as well, but I really don't like the system for this. In order to brew beer, we need a wooden brewing system, which we can then upgrade to a copper brewing station, and we could even upgrade that to a netherite brewing station. But these brewing stations require a lot of manual effort, are not remotely automatable, and to be honest with you, don't make any sense at all unless you've watched the tutorials and read the wiki. So let's just craft up a wooden one quickly, and I can explain what I mean. These breweries are a 4-block block, and there are a whole bunch of different things going on here. We've got an area here for where you put the ingredients, and then we've got this little sort of temperature gauge on here. There's a furnace part there, and then there's this whistly bit here. And when you put the right ingredients in, although it doesn't tell you anywhere within the mod what the right ingredients are, and there's no way of figuring that out without looking online, then it starts to basically go through a brewing process, which takes a little while, and the entire time you've got to watch this thing looking for clues, like it bubbling and whistling and the furnace flickering, in order to interact with it, to put more fuel in, or to click on the whistly bit and all that sort of thing, so that your brewing doesn't fail. So you can't just fill this thing with the right items, set it and leave it and come back and then you've got beer brewed. You've got to sit with it, poking and prodding it the entire time. And for me, that's not fun. But that's all we've got in order to brew this beer, so that's what we're going to be doing. But which beer are we going to brew? There are 4 different beer varieties in this mod pack, and none of which have any recipes. So I guess it's time I went over to the wiki to figure out what we can brew. And the wiki starts off well, saying that you can find some answers to the most frequently asked questions and a plain guideline. And it does tell you a little bit about crops and barrels and the brewing station minigame, but it doesn't seem to give you any clue at all as to what can be brewed and what ingredients they need. Although it does tell you about beer mugs and rope, it tells you about the different foods and armor available with it, and it even has a whole list of all the effects you can get from drinking the beer that you can't brew because there's no ingredients for it. So the only way to actually find out what the recipes are that you can brew is to go into the mod files themselves and look at the recipes. And I can see that barley beer needs hops and dried barley, Haley beer needs hops and popped chorus fruit, hops beer needs hops, hops and hops, and wheat beer needs hops and dried wheat. So all of the beer recipes require hops, which is exactly what we found earlier on today in that taiga biome. And I've got 3 of them, and I've no idea how you get more. You need hops seeds. Do I have any hops seeds? Oh, we do. We've got 35 hops seeds. And I assume I can grow this, but there's absolutely no mention of hops or hop seeds on the wiki at all. Really useful wiki for a mod that has no explanation or book or anything useful in game. So would I recommend the Let's Do Brewery mod? Yes, because the decoration items are fantastic. but not if you're interested in actually using it for brewing. And apparently you can use the beer mugs as flower pots as well, which is quite nice. So in order to grow hops, you need to basically do the old farmland thing, put some water down, make some farmland, plant your hop seeds, and then I guess if I bone meal that, that's going to, oh, it just gives me hops that way, and then it gets bigger, right? Okay, and I can then do the top. Oh, right, okay. Well, that's a nice, easy way of getting the hops. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated than that. Now, are they going to just grow naturally, though? I assume they will. In which case, what we'll do is we'll just have a little tiny hops patch behind the building over here so that we can just grow these whenever we need them. So now that I've got hops, I think I can put water in there, chuck a bunch of hops in there, I guess, maybe. Do I click on it with them? I do. I can put 3 in at a time. Then I put some coal in the furnace part, which is round here. And then the most exciting mini game in the world begins. Sizzling, I don't know what that means. Oh, I've just taken hops out. That was bad, I didn't mean to do that.
Round 2.
Put back in. I'm just clicking on things randomly. Oh, that's flashing, I have to click that. This is very exciting stuff. Oh, the water's too full. I think I have to click the water. No, I've taken hops out now. I didn't mean to do that.
Round 3.
Put them back in there. Of course, I've got absolutely no clue what I'm... Oh, hang on, the furnace is... The furnace in, and you put some more coal in. Oh, I don't know what to do when the water starts overflowing. If I do that, I just take hops out and it starts... I'll now put coal in. Oh, jeez. So in order to do this right, what you actually need is this little setup to be next to an infinite water source, because when this thing overfills, you need to take the excess water out with a bucket. I've no idea where that excess water comes from, but it does. And if it runs out of water, you need to be able to replace it. So you're always going to need an empty bucket and a full bucket. When the timer goes off like this, you have to click it. When the furnace is running out, you've got to refill it up. And eventually, after around about 45 seconds or so, assuming you've done everything right, you'll be rewarded with beer. And that gave me 2 mugs worth, so I guess I didn't do a very good job. And if I look at the beer quality, it says 2, and I don't know what that means. But when I did this previously, I got 5 out of it, so I guess I did a better job that time. Now, to its credit, the wiki does actually explain the brewing minigame, and it also tells you that the copper and netherite brewing stations will provide whiskey. But there's absolutely no mention of whiskey or beer anywhere else, or any recipes for any of them. So your guess is as good as mine. If only there was a way to automate that with Create. Well, there isn't. I wanted to create a data pack that would allow you to use a mixer with a blaze burner underneath in order to create the beer recipes, and the whiskey ones too. But unfortunately, the way the Let's Do Brewery mod has been made means there's no actual fluids in that mod. The best I could do would be to get it to give you a full mug of beer, but I don't really think we should be turning water and hops into mugs of beer. I just wanted it to be the beer liquid. But I can't, so that sucks. And that means that the entire last section of this video, which was me going to be building a Create-powered brewery underneath this tavern in order to constantly supply it with plentiful amounts of beer, isn't going to happen, which is a big shame. So what else am I going to do, guys? I've got to come up with some kind of plan, right? Now, in stark contrast, the Let's Do Vinery mod actually is fully compatible with Create, allowing you to fully automate the process of making wine. But this doesn't look very much like a wine bar to me, so I've come up with a better idea. And for that idea, I think I might actually need to extend this building out... Hello? This way a little bit. And that brings me back over here to Misty Shores, because for this plan I'm gonna need honey, and I've got an absolute ton of it in here. However, it would be very useful if I could automate getting that honey from here all the way over to our new area. However, considering that's quite an epic journey across the ocean, I don't think I'm going to be transporting this by train or by boat anytime soon. So I need a different idea to move this honey. Now, realistically, the system I'm going to be putting in place is not going to need fully automating. I do want it as automated as possible, but the drinks I'm providing for those idiots are realistically never going to get drunk. So I think 128 buckets of honey is going to be more than I'll probably ever need. So what I'm going to do is just create another tank, put in a temporary system in order to transfer that honey from that tank to this one, very, very slowly. And then I'm just going to glue all of this onto a minecart contraption. And now that all of that's successfully transferred, I can just pop that minecart contraption up, get rid of that, and I can take my honey with me. And I'm just going to plonk it down there for now. The next thing I'm going to need is a whole bunch of glass, because I need to turn these into an absolute ton of bottles. Bottles? Yeah, bottles. There we go, loads of bottles. Then I'm going to need to take this cow we got earlier and put it somewhere a little bit more useful. Let's just stick it on there for now, and we can put you somewhere safe very soon. So now we've got honey and milk, and we just need one more ingredient, and this one we're going to have to farm. And I'm sure you've already guessed it by now, but this ingredient is cocoa beans, because we're going to be automating hot cocoa. That's right, it's going to be a cocoa tavern. In order to automate the cocoa beans, I'm going to need jungle wood, which we've now got a whole bunch of thanks to this tree farm. We're going to need a mechanical harvester, and we're going to need to take an absolute ton of this bone meal from here so that we can automate this nice and quickly. But I've got plenty, so, you know, it's not going to be a big problem. And now that we've got all of the ingredients I need, I just need somewhere to build this thing. So I think I might be able to squeeze it out here. If I just extend this corner slightly, maybe, I could probably put it there. Or we could just build a little shed probably where that honey thing is. I don't really want a little shed there. Yeah, we're going to extend this. I'm really hoping this tiny little room is big enough for everything we need. So first of all, let's pick this back up and make sure it's actually going to fit in here. Let's just slap it down there. Yep, that just fits. And we can turn that back into a normal tank just by putting that back down, and then we can get rid of all of those. Next, we're going to need a jungle tree farm. So first of all, I'm going to put some jungle logs up here like this. Although we're only going to be using one of them, I'm going to put my cocoa beans on there and my dispenser on there for now. And then underneath, we'll have a minecart running backwards and forwards, breaking that with a harvester. So this should work for the contraption. The minecart, barrel, storage interface going into another one with a harvester on the front. We'll have our cocoa beans on that log there. If we pop a redstone torch down there, that's just going to bounce backwards and forwards. And when we bone meal that cocoa bean, that's going to harvest it, and it's going to go inside of that barrel, and then we just need to get the items out of here. And all we need to do for that is pop a storage box down there with a chute on top, and now they're going to go in there. So we've got honey and we've got cocoa, but what's the honey for? Sugar! Rather than just growing loads of sugar cane, we can actually turn honey bottles into sugar, which means getting that out of there and into bottles, and then auto-crafting that into sugar, and that could be tricky. Well, things are moving on, but it's all getting a little bit cramped. The honey tank has gone. I've moved the cocoa bean farm over to this side, and I've added in a whole bunch of stuff here. The honey tank is actually down underneath the platform, just over there, and that actually pops out underneath the stairs up here, which then feeds through a pump into this pipe here, into a spout, which is above a depot, which has a funnel coming out of it from this box with glass bottles in. This is now a storage system, so we've got an empty box here ready for sugar, the cocoa beans up there which no longer connect to this, so I need to move those about, and the idea here is that this will squirt the honey onto these empty bottles, turning them into honey bottles. They'll get passed through this passer block into the mechanical crafter. Those will craft them down into sugar and glass bottles, which will then both go into the storage system into the right place. But I've still got to get the cow in here for milk, and I've still got to set up a mixer with a basin and a blaze burner, and there really isn't all that much room left, and I've got to get power to these things as well. So I'm struggling to squeeze everything into that tiny little space, so I've come over here to this creative test world to see if I can minimize some of these contraptions. This one here's got a cow that's being milked. The milk comes out and goes through an item drain, which then goes through this pump into a mixer, and then these mechanical arms basically take the cocoa beans and the sugar, put them in the mixer. This one takes the coal to light the blaze burner, and then that gets turned into chocolate, which comes through this smart pipe and then into this tank here. But as you can see, that doesn't fit inside of the area we've gotten. It doesn't even include the cocoa bean farm or the honey system to turn the honey into sugar. Now, we don't have to create chocolate like this. We can actually just create it directly into the cocoa cups, and in order to do that, you need a much bigger system. First of all, you need to put the buckets of milk into the mixer, as well as a whole bunch more ingredients, including empty glass bottles, which takes up quite a bit more room but doesn't have to worry about any pipes and pumps and tanks and things. But this one doesn't even have a cow milker, or the honey into sugar system, or the cocoa bean system. So I've come to a conclusion, and the conclusion is that no matter how hard I try and squeeze all of those things into that little room, it ain't happening. There is absolutely no way I can get all of that stuff in here and working. So I've come up with another idea, and that is to just demolish everything, undo the big old mess that I've made of this tavern, and then just build a really good one in the next episode when I'm going to be building a whole new food system to feed these idiots.